Pete Hegseth went on Fox and Friends this morning to try to defend himself, and here he is talking about how he refuses to meet with a specific kind of crowd. He's more into the chugging crowd. You'll see what I'm referring to in a second.
Mr. Secretary, do you think you take this job, you come in with war experience and all your great background, do you think there's a lot of people who don't want you there, and there's some type of deep state forces that want to make sure you don't stay there?
They've come after me from day one, just like they've come after President Trump.
Pause it for 1 second. I just want to be clear. They came after Pete Hegseth from really day negative like 40 or 50. Like the moment that the idea that this weekend Fox News host, whose only executive experience in running anything were two organizations that were incredibly small, and in at least one of them, he created a budget deficit twice as large as the budget itself in the course of a year, and had to be basically removed from both positions amid both a sense that he didn't know how to manage these things, and also some reports of him being not appropriate with the women in the organizations, on top of which there was reporting from former coworkers at Fox News that he couldn't stay sober. And then by the time we got to day one, that was 4 days after he promised not to drink on the job, which, if you have to promise that, is indicative of a problem.
Bit of a concern.
And now, of course, the deep state forced him to
add his wife
and his brother-in-law in a group chat on an imminent military mission. Just to catch you up. Go back.
You think there's a lot of people who don't want you there, and there's some type of deep state forces that want to make sure you don't stay there?
They've come after me from day one, just like they've come after President Trump. I mean, I've gotten a fraction of what President Trump got in that first term. What he's endured is superhuman. It's not hard for me to do this job. I know exactly why I'm here. To bring warfighting and the warfighting ethos back to the Pentagon, to rip out the insidious ideologies and not compromise and not back down, to bring in new press voices into the Pentagon, which we've done,
Pause
to
it for a second.
reestablish
Look,
standards and accountability.
I cannot stand analysis where you sort of like project onto someone their state of mind. But in this case, I'm going to make myself an exception because I've actually been in like a situation similar to this after having drank a little bit. Back in the day, I used to do a lot of MSNBC hits, and there was occasions where it'd be like the hits at like the 9 p.m. show or the 10 p.m. show or something like that. And I get a babysitter, and I'm going to make it a social evening. And then I realized like I socialized a little too much, and you got to go. And it's this thing where you're looking down and then like, I'm back in, I'm going back in, I'm just getting into a rhythm. I don't know. That's me.
It could be.
I'm not saying it's him. I think he has a lot more experience at this than I do.
Whoa.
Go back a little bit. He's much less slurry than Kudlow was back in the day. I could say that, though.
I mean, it is, 8:30 a.m. Eastern, although we know that he did start his days with a few gin and tonics, according to the New Yorker.
Warfighting and the warfighting ethos back to the Pentagon, to rip out the insidious ideologies and not compromise and not back down, to bring in new press voices into the Pentagon, which we've done, to reestablish standards and accountability, to not tolerate leakers, to 100% operational control of our border, to get rid of trans lunacy in the military. We haven't backed down. See, here's the thing. A lot of people come to Washington and they just play the game. And it's you punch their ticket and get along to go along. And, start doing Meet the Press and going to the Council on Foreign Relations and spending time with all the new cocktail sipping crowd. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because President Trump...
Pause it. I'm here to chug cocktails.
Those weak-ass liberals in D.C.
Sip a cocktail.
Sip.
I guess I'll tell you something right now. I'm not a... I chug my cocktails.
Chug, 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 chug.
We've got in the mission control in the Pentagon, we have a funnel. And it is a 12 beer funnel.
Yeah.
If you can't do it, you get out of the room.
Sure.
That's what we do. That's what I brought. Look at this. See this sideburn? I keep this sideburn long and this one short to remind myself I like to party.
I like how he says he's bringing fighting back to the
Do
Pentagon.
you know why this is long
Fighting
and this one's
nausea.
short?
Yeah.
Because 3 nights ago, I got so shit-faced blind that I fell asleep, and some of the guys came in and they shaved this sideburn and they didn't show that one. And I got to wear this until it grows back. That's the name of the game.
He comes in with just like a
That's the rules.
peanut
That's the
Sharpie on his
rules.
face or loser on his forehead.
That's exactly.
Yeah.
He's boofing with Kavanaugh.
Yes. I don't even know if Sam, God forbid you know what boofing
I
is.
don't know what
he's
that
He's
means.
boofing right now in this interview. That's why he's so
Kavanaugh?
excitable.
Operational control of our border, to get rid of trans lunacy in the military. We haven't backed down. See, here's the thing.
Here's
A lot of
the
people
thing.
come to Washington and they just play the game.
Oh.
And it's you punch their ticket and get along to go along. And, start doing Meet the Press and go into the Council on Foreign Relations and spending time with all the new cocktail sipping crowd. That's not why I'm here. I'm here because President Trump asked me to bring warfighting back to the Pentagon every single day.
Right.
That is our focus. And if people don't like it, they can come after me. No worries. I'm standing right here. The warfighters are behind us. Our enemies know they're on notice. Our allies know we're behind them. And that, in this dangerous world,
How many more
for the
platitudes can
American
we get in
people,
here?
is what it's all about.
I've been on 2 bases over the last 2 months.
And pause. I just want to make it clear. I will give everyone our war plans. I'm not doing this cocktail sipping type of just the war plans for the people who need them. I'm not afraid.
He was going to say cocktail drinking and changed it to cocktail
Yeah,
sipping.
sipping.
I don't know what that means.
He's got cocktail on the brain.
Cocktail sipping and just drinking whiskey and clear liquors and other type of. I'm not.
It's on the toilet.
I'm not hanging around with the wine crowd. Okay.
Yeah. Hard liquor only.
It's more like it's go ahead, give it to me again. You ready? I tried to time that. Oh boy. Al Conniption. Hegseth talks the way R.M. Brown does through AI voice at the end of his video. He says, subscribe on Patreon. Ask
Come on,
Matt."
man. You got something to say?
Jerry at the beach. Love the idea that there's a deep state conspiracy to make the military gay and trans. Someone like Pete Hegseth, who would pound the drums of war at the drop of a hat, is an imminent threat to the military-industrial complex. DJ Ducor. I love when Uncle Sam comes back and all the kids have to explain what boofing and the Saratoga Springs ice baths are. Laugh my ass off.
Hey, Russ brought up boofing. I was thinking it,
It was
but
from
Russ said
a
it.
Senate confirmation hearing of a Supreme Court judge. I feel like it,
But he referred to boofing as something differently. I think the term has
That's what he
evolved
said.
to now
That's what he said.
He lied. Yeah, he was lying
liquor-soaked
at the time.
tampon in,
Everyone
in an
except for
orifice.
It doesn't
Sam.
necessarily need to be a tampon, but it's alcohol through the butt. What did Kavanaugh say? What Kavanaugh say it was?
He had boofing in his calendar, right?
Yeah, boofing with.
Boofing with Du Bois.
And then he said it was just drinking, binge drinking. Like, okay, boy.
It's unbelievable how much that guy lied in front of people who knew that he was telling the truth.
He makes Hegseth-
knew that he was lying.
He makes Hegseth look sober.
Yep. Smoke Frank Blunts. Please tell me you saw the Democrats' post of Pete Hegseth being an alcoholic. I did not.
Yeah, they respond, he tweeted something out, and the official Democrats account, which seems to have been taken over by somebody that understands social media, posted a photo of an iPhone lock screen that was really blurry. It was what you would look at when you see your phone when you're really drunk. So they're doing all right over there.
Bill Ackman, boofing with Squee.
Right.
Oh my God.
That was the exculpatory calendar, apparently.
My calendars.
Let's take this phone call. They snuck in when we had the phones open briefly. Calling from a 775 area code. Who's this? Where are you calling from?
Oh man, I'm on the Majority Report. I'm the new Pope. I'm Pope presumed innocent, the umpteenth.
Okay.
And I was listening to yesterday, watching that Day of the Jackal footage where they took out the Pope. And you guys are talking about how the Antichrist might be J.D. Vance and could be Trump.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I believe that there's a way to touch people and make them think about their voting through their Bible. And I know Easter's gone by, so that opportunity's gone. But here's some things that really point to Trump.
Hey, can you talk into your phone a little bit more?
Yes, sir, I can.
That's much better. Thanks.
Thank you. Okay, well, if people are interested, get out a piece of paper and write these down. You can use them at Thanksgiving at least.
Okay.
In 2 Thessalonians, it talks about him being the lawless one, this guy, the Antichrist, okay? And that's in chapter 2. And go and look it up. They can go check this out. In Daniel chapter 7, 8 through 11, and in chapter 8, verse 25, it talks about him being a boaster.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think, have you had a personal experience where you have shown Bible verses to a Trump supporting Christian who then said, oh, okay, I guess I don't support him anymore? Have you ever had an experience like that?
I've made them think about it, and it's got them thinking about it right now.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's the kind of thing you're not going to be able to take this to them and put it right up in front of them and you know, give them this, and they'll be open to it. It's because there's a belief in it.
Yeah.
When people have these beliefs in these mythologies and stuff, it takes over their whole head. But if we can get them to think about what they're voting for through their Bible, I'm all for it. I don't want to take people's faith away from them, but if they can look at their book and go, oh, geez, I made a mistake, you know, then that's a good way to do it, I think.
I mean, I'm certainly open to it. I will have to admit that when I go home for Thanksgiving, that's not going to work for me. But
Well,
I would imagine.
But for some people, it might.
Yeah, no, I agree. You know what you should do? Go into the Discord at majoritydiscord.com and provide those citations. And if people want them, they can grab them there.
Okay, I don't know how to do that. I'm not a tech savvy guy.
Well, go.
I used to look, man. I was an ordained minister in the 1970s. I used to go through all this stuff, and when you start talking to people about this, it makes them, they go, whoa, you know, and they get up on their hind legs. But if you can take these verses and align them up with the guy that they're looking at and worshiping, then that's something that can work.
All right.
You know,
maybe
it's like they have things like he received a head wound. Okay, well, the Antichrist in the Bible, it talks about him getting a head injury.
Interesting. All right. Well, listen, I appreciate the call.
Look,
I gotta jump.
I'm not trying to push Jesus.
No, I get what you're saying, and I think there's something to it. And I appreciate the call. I just, you know, during the George W. Bush years, we had a lot of that. Like, you know, use the Bible as, in my experience, there's a lot of those people They have already made their determination, and I don't think they're terribly impacted by Donald Trump being an impure messenger. Now, it's possible some of them could come to believe that he's Antichrist, but I just don't think enough are going to, because a lot of their pastors are telling them something different.
Well, I mean, you have Marjorie Taylor Greene basically celebrating the death of the Pope yesterday, which is kind of like they're hearkening back to old school anti-Catholic, like Southern, I don't know, bigotry on that front, but also tapping into, there's like a conservative Catholic strain that really didn't like Pope Francis because of his reforms and his more pro-LGBTQ stance, etc. So I don't know, like that's for me just an example of how American evangelicism in particular, which is a lot of the people that we're trying to reach here, are obviously, I feel like a little bit more just working backwards from their conclusion.
Yeah, supporting Trump is they're going to church.
Sam's exhausted toilet. Another important verse for Bible people in Leviticus. It says you aren't allowed to lay with another man. That means it's okay as long as you are both standing up. There you go.
Yes. Good point.
Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.